Hi guys, welcome back. I'm here to share with you a design team project for KraftSupplies4u for the month of March. So what I did was I altered up this little mailbox, and this I've had in my stash for a while, and I have been wanting to do something with it, but I wasn't really sure what, and then it kind of had just sat aside for a while. And finally, I'm like, okay, I'm going to make it my mission to take this out and do something with it. So this is what I ended up coming up with. And this was originally pink, so I just left it that way. You can see the color there. So I didn't gesso it or anything. I just left the color how it was. And then I just took a bunch of different trims and flowers from the shop and just kind of went layer crazy, I guess. So the first thing I did was I took this trim right here. And this actually has this piece on this side as well, so it's about from here to here. So I put a piece here, and then I put another piece here, so it pretty much filled up the whole side of the mailbox. So I put that all the way around. Actually, you can see it better on this side, I guess. So I put that all the way around, and then in the middle here I put this pink trim, and this has this silver metallic threads in the middle of it, or throughout it I should say, and I just thought it was really pretty. So I put that all the way around in the middle, just to bring in like some more pink, and I also wanted to have a little dainty trim in the middle to kind of break this up a little bit. So I decided on this one. So that goes all the way around. And actually, before I had started, I took this little flag off. It actually came off pretty easily. I just kind of pulled on it and it came out because it was attached with like a little metal piece. So I covered that with the same pink trim that's in the middle right here. Covered the flag with that because it was red and I didn't want to have really that much red on here, so I just had a few layers of that on both sides, so it blends really well with that. So I had taken that off, added these trims, and then I glued it back on under here where it was originally, because once I took the metal thing out there was no way to get it back in, so I just took some hot glue where the metal piece was and glued it down. So then the little flag was still on there because that kind of is what makes the little mailbox. And so from there I knew I wanted to have some sort of flower cluster on here, and I was trying to decide if I wanted to do like another color here to bring another color in, but then I ended up just wanting to kind of have it like kind of all kind of in the same tone. I don't know, I just was kind of feeling the way that looked that day. So I just took some of these flowers and everything, let me see. Yeah, everything that I used on here besides the tin and the little container is all from the shop. So if you like any of that, most of it should still be available. So just, I will have the link in the description box, of course, as always, so you guys can go check it out. And I know that there is some new stuff coming in, so hopefully by the time you see this that it will be listed and you guys should check it out for sure. So I took some of these big white flowers and added one on each side because I wanted it to kind of go up like this, not like straight up. So I kind of put them, if you can see, a little bit at an angle. And then I added here and here 2 of the little paper flowers, and those, you guys know, I say this like every time I think. I use these things all the time. I love those flowers. They're like, to me, they're just like the perfect flower. They just, if you need a little something, you add one of those flowers. If you just, I don't know, it just seems to add like the perfect little touch for me. So I use them all the time. So I added 2 of those, and then it was a little tiny bit too plain. Like, I wanted it plain, but just it was a little bit too much plain, I guess. So I went through, and as I tell you guys all the time to save your scraps, I went through and found some really light, like pale pink, these little tiny flowers right here. And so I cut some off and I tucked 2 in down here and then 2 up here. And then these pink leaves were just left over. They come on like a little spray piece. So you guys know I always save my scraps. So I had saved them, and then I ended up just gluing them in and tucking them behind. And then I added 2 of the little white ribbon roses up there, because I wanted to just bring some white back in, because there was kind of a lot of the pale pink going on right here. So I just added 2 of those. And then I had a little scrap of this trim left that I had cut off. So I just kind of folded it over and then glued it up in there. And then you can see it kind of just has like little tassels. I don't know. I like to tuck little scraps and stuff into my clusters, and I just think it looks really nice and gives it a whole nother dimension. So I just tucked those in, and so they just kind of hang out like that. And then I took this little container right here that just was in my stash. I just had it here. I didn't really use it for anything. I took it and I glued it to the bottom of this, because you know how like when you have the mailboxes and they stand up like on those posts. It's kind of what I wanted that to look like. And so I took the same trim right here, and then I went around this, and also this same one here, I went on top of that. And then as you can see, like on the side, I used the braided trim. So I added a piece to the middle right here just to kind of, you know, make it match and kind of pull it together. And then again, with the flower cluster, I added the same flowers down here. So you can see there's the big white one, the little paper ones, and then the little tiny pink one. So there's 2 over here, and then there's 2 over here. And then behind that, if you can see poking out right here, I had these little scraps of this trim from the shop. So I had tucked one under here, and then there's one over here as well. You can kind of see it right there. So it just gives it a really cute little design here on the front. And then, of course, you know me, I always have to have something to cover up my glue. So, excuse me, I took this trim right here. This is one of the pleated trims from the shop, and this does come in other colors as well. This is just the silver one, has the silver ribbon in the middle. So I just wrapped it around a couple times, like where my glue was, covered that up, and then just went around it again, so it kind of filled the gap from here to here. And then you can see it covers it up really nicely. And then here on the sides, I covered, because these come off, these little pieces, and you could put stuff in here. So this braided trim pretty much fit along here perfectly. So I went around both sides with that, and then in the on the side part, I added some different trims. So I cut some of this one off right here, and then just layered it with this one right here. And then on top of that, I just add some strips of the braided trim, and I just did that on both sides. And I like that it looks like a little bit frayed, so it's kind of gives it that little extra shabby touch. So I did that on both sides, as you can see, and I just left this hanging again, so it's not perfect. It has a little bit more of a shabbiness to it. And then I believe that's about it. So it's kind of hard to tell, because as you can see, my camera is over the top, but it's actually really cute when you have it sitting there. And then you could still use it for putting goodies inside, or because you know me, when I do things, I like to have it like a dual purpose. Excuse me. You can have it, you know, as a cute piece to look at, but it's also functional. So you could have this like sitting on your shelf or on your desk and whatnot, and then, you know, it's cute and you can see it, and then you could also have a lot of storage room inside and store all kinds of goodies in there, you know, whatever you need to have close to you, I guess. So that was just kind of my idea for that. It actually looks really cute sitting there. It's kind of hard to tell, I know, because of the angle of my camera, but it is actually super cute. So that is my altered mailbox. Let me know what you guys think, and make sure you guys check out the shop because there's a lot of new items coming in. And thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.